closure. Today will come when you first realize what you have done, and you finally get your debt repaid, and your vengeance served on a cold plate. You hear the roll of the shutdown when the world will stop without a sound. In a moment you will cry for help, and we only think about ourselves. Oh yeah. The first time that I met you, I thought it looked so sweet. I stood around for the hills, beating a retreat.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome this Friday afternoon, morning, or evening, wherever you may be, to our finale of Call of Cthulhu Bioshock. We have a lot of friends stuck in the city of Rapture. They are experiencing what they thought to be wonders of a world promised, and instead are in a hell beneath the waves. But that is then. We need to figure out how we got to this place and why we can be here. We can be here because of our fantastic sponsor, Roll20. If you go right now to www.roll20.net/start// Tales from the Grim, you can have your own free account. You can go beneath the waves. You can play some Dungeons and Dragons. Call of Cthulhu, the new Keeper module, is there, ready for you to pick up, spin your own dark tales. I just played a fantastic one over on the Scraticus Academy a mere 2 weeks ago tomorrow, and it was utterly fantastic. We'll make sure that if you haven't followed Scrat and or Alice at White Rabbit Pick, you do so. Look at all of the wonderful shows that they put on over there. Pay particular attention to the incredible charity stream that they had a few weeks back. Great stories. I'm particularly fond of the Cthulhu one because it was scary as heck. I hope to perform at least 30% of how scary that one was, and that might even be overestimating my abilities here. That's why I need your help, Legion. If you are watching this and you are live, you may affect what is going on with the donations that we see below. Your changes so far in the narrative, Legion, have been Herculean. Right now, all of our PCs are equipped with plasmids, and if you're familiar with the game, it is a form of biological witchcraft, where in our scenario, the use of these powers turns the use of these powers turns the user mad. That's why we get splicers, everybody. And so, as our heroes have to weigh power versus safety versus freedom versus oppression, all of this is weighed in the city of Rapture. All of this is experienced beneath the waves. Can they go where they need to go? Get free of where they've been? We'll see. So let's bring in everybody, see exactly what we're going to do here in Rapture as we set the stage with our group. Welcome back in, my friends. As you can see, we have almost everybody here today. One of our members, Myth, is in PAX East, currently terrorizing the city of Boston with his kindness. That is a terror for the city of Boston. I'm just joking, not really. Let's go around and talk to everybody real quick, set up the finale, ask once again who you'll be playing, and if your character kicked open the swinging door of a Western bar, what would we as the viewers see? Let's start with Tom. Tom? Who are you? Who you'll be playing? And what do we see when you kick open the door?
So I'll be playing Deirdre Pepperpot, a 72-year-old woman. Today she's kind of forgotten the makeup. I like to think that the water's kind of splashed some makeup, so she's not looking as good as she usually does. If you were to kick open and go in, you'd probably see quite a thin old woman with a bit of a hunch. She's kind of hunched over. She has thick grey curly white hair, some glasses tipped on the edge of her nose, quite a thin pointed angular face, and kind of her hand glow in a very nice warm red as she's kind of playing with her fingers and flexing them.
And as the experience of the newly found plasmid is a joy to behold by the scientist, let's go over. Alice, who are you playing? And if they kicked open a frontier town door, what would we all see?
I am playing Felicity Carstairs, and when she first arrived in Rapture, she looked pretty prim and proper. She had a very sort of smart, dark bob of hair, smart makeup on, and a white shirt and those heavy woolen, sort of grayish green, high-waisted trousers, sort of pinned in around her waist, and some brogues. She looks a bit more disheveled now, a little bit soggy from the water at the moment, but she's probably looking a bit more wild-eyed than anything, especially after what happened last time. She's trying to keep her cool, and she's more trying to keep her professional head on to do so. It's not working.
I was just about to say, how's that going for you?
It's not working.
Okay, fantastic. And let's jump up to my friend Scrat. Scrat, who will you be playing? And again, if they kicked open the swing doors of a tavern, what would we see?
Zach Della Shocker at your service. A scruffy-haired, unclean-shaven, ragamuffin. I'm going to go English on this. Ragamuffin, overly English. No one even in England uses that word anymore. That's like 16th century English. All right, except for Alice. He's dressed as kind of, I mean, it would be smart if it was neat. You know, that's the niche he's filling. Not quite smart, but it could be just a little bit more effort. Currently, he's very much enjoying his new powers. He was having a little listen to things and missed a lot of stuff last week with called Mythmac's character. But when he did get involved, he quite enjoyed the bees and the honey produced. So he's probably, you know, every now and again just nibbling on his own hand.
As one does in Rapture. And last but not least, Leonie, my friend, how are you today? Who will you be playing? And again, if they kicked open the door of an old-timey Western town, what would we all see?
Hello, everybody. I'm all right, actually. Nervous, and sad. Nervous and sad. Don't want it to be over. So in the beginning, you would have seen a woman very well put together, very glamorous, in a black slip with pearls on her wrist, long black gloves, deco earrings, peacock feathers, feather boa. She's a lot more haggard now. The winged eyeliner is smudged down her face, and the red lipstick smudged across her face. And where before she kind of looked like trouble and talked like trouble, she's definitely a lot more hardened now. There's a business face, but this person is an actress, apparently. So what business that she's now up to is a mystery, but that's what's going on. Oh, and she hasn't had a cigarette in a hot second because they got wet. So she's craving the nicotine.
Fantastic. And so, let me go to this one. As we see all of our characters as they've been described by their players, as we look through into the world of Rapture, as we experience what they've experienced as the characters begin and end, everyone is walking in this space, this tunnel getting to Bathysphere Dock 2, a promised escape, a promise to potentially return to the surface and return to the world that they know and understand. But before they can get there, the small little sister who is walking with them, Phoebe, has exited the wall vents that she had been hiding in until this point, taken the hand of Jasper, and as they began walking through the tunnel into a wider area, there was a slumped form on the floor. And as Phoebe just finished saying to Jasper, "You remind me of Mr. Bubbles," She points to the slumped form and says with a very sad tone, "Mr. Bubbles." And as you are all sitting there with the sounds of Rapture becoming commonplace, and perhaps that's even more frightening to your characters than staying on edge at the drips and errant screams and strange songs sung in the shadows, the little girl begins to pull on Jasper's hand, dragging him towards her fallen protector. But as they take 2 steps, Jasper's gone. As you see the grating beneath his feet open, and you see him fly down with a yell and a splash as he begins to, "Oh, help, help!" as he yells out, and you can hear this commotion, and it seems distant. And Phoebe looks down into the broken square of grating, and she looks and says, "Oh no." What do you all do?
Felicity will run, probably skidding towards the edge, just to see if you can look down and see her companion down there.
Roll me a spot hidden.
I'd like to move Phoebe out the way.
Oh dear.
You look down, and Leonie, just as soon as Lilith gets there, she's able to move. Phoebe doesn't fight. She's kind of pulling and looking as a child would, but with that very passive, emotionless quality. Even the "oh no" didn't seem to carry the appropriate weight. But Alice, as Felicity looks down, you can't see Jasper, but you can hear splashing. You suspect that there is at least an element of water below. Perhaps the entire thing is flooded. You can't tell.
She's sort of looking down, trying to see if she can have a look. And she's like, "Jasper, can someone help me? We need to do something."
Zach has been standing motionless at this point, kind of looking to everyone else, like, "Whoa, what do we do?" When you say help, he will look around the room for something to help with, maybe a long pole.
Roll me a spot hidden to see if there's a convenient long pole. Or a luck. I'll take either.
Whichever's higher. Or lower in this case.
Yeah, my luck ain't great.
No pole presents itself, or no rope or chain or anything else that could dangle. But as this happens in the span of seconds, with the splash and the splashing occurring and the yelling for "help, help" from below, you notice that even though it is distance by depth, it is now distance with length. It seems as if Jasper is moving away from your position, not just down.
Deirdre would have waddled over, just head over, and can she see him, or is it like pitch black?
You may roll me a spot hidden, sure.
Okay, I'm pretty good at spot hidden. It's the green one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nope.
Again, you
I
don't.
can't.
Yeah. Again, you don't see anything, but I will give you this. You're a little bit closer to your hit. You see a wisp of frost come up, and you realize that Jasper has new powers that all of you do, but Jasper seemed to exhibit an ability to manipulate temperature, at least make things colder. And you see that there's steam, this frost, as if you're all exhaling in a very cold day, and it's kind of coming up from the area where Jasper had just recently vacated. Just a hint of it, though.
Oh, well, Felicity, my dearie, if I light this up, could you use your special, or is it telekinesis plasmid to bring him back?
I move stuff, but maybe yes. When you say light this up, to what extent are we talking here?
Oh, just a low light so that you can see something like this. And I will cast fire plasmid, kind of just a very subtle stream of fire just to light it up. It might hit him, but you know, we need to see.
Let's say that again. A very subtle stream of fire. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going full rage.
Wait, isn't Jasper afraid of fire?
Well, we need to see. So here we go.
He will be after this.
That subtle stream of fire is going to cost you 9 sanity as you fire up your plasmid.
Okay.
As you extend and shoot down, I'll have Felicity roll another spot hidden for me now with the illumination helping you out a bit.
Okay. Oh my god.
You do see him for just a moment. You see Jasper as he's fighting to stay above water that is carrying elements of ice in it. You can see that there are like mini patches, icebergs, if you will, as he's rushing towards a half drain beneath this grated tunnel. And it's probably, in all likelihood, some type of emergency venting if this whole area were to flood, some way to kind of get the seawater back where it belongs and outside of Rapture. But just as you see Jasper, he gets sucked into a tube. It's too quick for you to do anything. You caught just the glimpse of your friend or your traveling companion being pulled to points unknown.
I missed, and she's sort of looking at Deirdre like, I didn't move fast enough. He's gone.
What do we do? Do we jump down after him?
Phoebe looks up at you, Lilith. We can find him.
What is it, wet down there? Lilith, you're a great swimmer, right? I saw you back at the whirlpool, like, you know, doing the whole thing. What was that, breaststroke? I don't know.
I ignore that for a moment and I look down to Phoebe.
She looks up with those big glowing eyes.
Where does it go?
It goes where you're going. To the bathysphere. Only she calls it more like bath is fear.
Oh, Apparently it heads to the bathysphere. So if we're quick, perhaps we can catch him in piping or something.
Let's go then. Let's go. I don't know how long he's gonna have down there. I don't know how quickly it's gonna fill up with water.
I'm gonna look at my hand. Can you guys scout? I just shout at my hand full of bees.
You see something crawl beneath your skin. You're not sure if that's an answer or just a reflex.
Well, let's try it. I'm gonna try sending some bees down. Go and find him.
Sure,
Come on.
Take 6 sanity loss as, again, all of you, perhaps again, becoming more comfortable with the sights and sounds of Rapture. Zach's hand becomes a honeycomb, and then his forearm, as insects pour out of the porous circles and the cuts and holes inside of his now aerated flesh. And as they buzz, they go down into the hole. But as soon as they get close to the water, you see them, much like mosquito over standing pools, they just kind of flitter about, unable to proceed.
Yeah, no, I figured. All right. Come back. I lick my hand.
Get a health point.
Yes. Oh, I'm full, damn it.
Still tastes good.
Yeah, it does. It's like Manuka or something.
So, as you're all standing there, Lilith, you feel Phoebe begin to kind of not pull away from you, but pull towards the distant door, the securest door. And Felicity, you would realize that this is in the direction that you saw Jasper disappear.
I think she looks at Lilith. It's like, this way, right?
I presume so. Let's hurry.
With caution, apparently. And she's looking at her feet where things have opened up. And she sort of, at the beginning, pushes her foot down a little bit harder on the floor to see if it gives way or not, but tries to move as quickly as possible towards this door.
Right, and you're able to test the floor as you go. A couple of them scoot a bit in their housings, as if they're just a fraction too small for the bracers that are holding them above, but none of them give way. And the only thing that happens as you all begin to proceed towards, I assume everyone is going from this point towards the door, Phoebe will stop for a second and kind of kneel down and rest her small hand on the helmet of Mr. Bubbles. And she thinks for a second, and again those golden glowing eyes kind of scrunch up, and she reaches down to the right hand of the creature, and with a couple pops and hisses unclips the glove, pulls it off, and holds the index finger of the glove in her left hand as she reaches up for Lilith with her right.
I take her small hand in mine and I pull her close. I say, don't worry, we'll take care of you.
Okay. Well, let's go. And you all collect at the door at the other end. It does not appear locked. You see where you could lock it if you had one of those triangular keys that you used before, Lilith, but this one is already in the open position. It just needs to be opened.
Is there a window in this door?
No, none of the doors have windows.
Okay, didn't think so.
I was waiting for you to say that when she pulls off the glove, she has all of her powers, like, all at once. Fire, beat, fire, ice.
Right, it's the Infinity Gauntlet, everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Each knuckle has a different color.
I just came up with that, right?
All right, well, we gotta run, right? We need to, like, carefully run.
Carefully. I'm gonna check the other side of the door first, and if I can, just sort of try and have a look without making too much noise or attention.
Absolutely. Roll me a... I'll take a stealth here, or a sleight of hand.
Oh, let's go sleight of hand, please. Oh, for goodness sake.
You hear... The door opens. It doesn't cooperate, though. And even though these doors are mighty and large, as soon as they kind of grab and begin to hit the track that carries them and displaces their weight, this track decides that it's had enough of this type of life and decides to cry out as you get the just as it starts to open. And roll me a spot hidden as you are the first to see what lies beyond, Felicity.
She does that awkward look back of, I'm sorry, as it goes, as she fails again.
The hallway beyond it's lit with a more constant light than the other places you've been. There's been sporadic power loss in some of the other areas. This seems to have a constant light to it, at least a sustained power, but it's low lit regardless. It's almost as if there are elements on the walls that are being displayed, as if there is, maybe works of art or individual lights that are just reflective and directed towards the two walls of this large hall that you have and see before you. You can't make out any of the details further down the hall, but there is a sign 10 feet away and hanging above this hallway, this row, and it says Hall of Progress.
Sort of looks around and looks back. It's like, well, at least we've got light. And apparently progress. So,
And honey, if you all want some honey, just let me know, okay? I'll like decant some up for you. It tastes real good.
I'll have some honey.
I like good. I must have something, anything I have on me.
Are you gonna take
Scrape
it out,
some
or
off.
do you want me to lick it off your hand?
No, it's all right. I'll get you a little bit. I'll just get you some. I'm
okay.
gonna take something. I must have something on me and just scrape some off and pass it across.
Thank you.
It's delicious.
Tastes fleshy.
You know what? I would have a sanity roll here, but I think we're just so far beyond that now that.
Do I get Do I get help?
Yeah, you know what? You opted to do this, Tom. You get a point of health. I'll give you a point
I'm
of
up
health.
to 4.
Oh, I'm still good.
Yeah, so good. As you see the hallway before you, again, anybody that peeks in will see the same thing that Felicity saw. It's just a one shot. You don't see any other type of branching door, but you do see that it seems like certain elements of this hallway are being focused, are being displayed, your gaze is being directed.
Well, Deirdre's going to have a look. There before them, why not?
Sure. You're going in first?
She's going to have a look in first. She went somewhere first and almost got clubbed to death. So she's going to look in to make sure there's nothing like there.
That's fair. Roll me a spot hidden.
Okay. That's an extreme success with an 8.
With an extreme, the eyes of Deirdre are able to make sure and verify that none of these shadows carry a sinister quality beyond their absence of light. There's nobody lurking, nobody waiting to spring with wrench or gun, none of these splicers that have been plaguing you since your arrival. It seems to just be a hall. And with your extreme, I will let you know that it looks like what has been displayed are paintings.
Oh. I'm going to go have a look at the paintings. I always appreciate art. Oh, okay.
Deirdre, when you walk in and you turn to your right, you see a painting of yourself. You have a face that is half covered in a rabbit mask, and you are carrying the glowing hypo syringe that Phoebe gave you. It is completely full. And beside you is one of those monstrous deep sea divers like Mr. Bubbles. And beneath it, in bronze or brass tack, there is a caption that reads, "Every little sister and Big Daddy loves their granny." What are the rest of you doing?
I'd like to ready my Tommy gun just in case. I don't trust it. I haven't used my plasmids yet, so I'm still quite safe.
I know you've been holding it.
I'm hogging it. So get Tommy gun in one hand, balanced on my hip, child's hand in my other, and yeah, I'm gonna cautiously step out into this hallway.
Phoebe will move off to Felicity if you want to go in and have both of your hands on the Tommy gun.
Okay, yes. I hand it over to her other caregiver. I think we've adopted a child.
I'm like, hello. I think she lets everyone in the room and then takes her hand as she doesn't want to close the door behind them, but there's finger room in case something goes wrong.
Oh, so you're going to close it back to finger room, like just to move it, or leave it open a little?
I want to leave it open a little. Now there's pressure. Now I don't know. I'm going to say leave it a little bit open because I can throw myself at it to close it.
Just for curiosity's sake, a little bit open, meaning a little bit for fingers or a little bit for a body to get through?
I'd say probably like if you went sideways to slide a body through, it's not like walk through easily.
Okay. Completely unrelated. Leonie, as Lilith goes in, what is your intention as you are armed with a Tommy gun? By the way, everybody knows that, or a lot of people know, every session that I am in or run, I always think of a piece of art that goes with, like, if somebody did fan art for it, because I can't draw. Right now, everybody walking into this room and a Tommy gun wielding Lilith it's right up there so far. So, Lilith, what would you like to do as you walk in?
I'll look at the paintings, but I'm more interested at getting through. Like, we're pressed for time. And if there is one that looks like me, I will stop to look at it.
Sure. Yeah, you walk up and you see that Deirdre is sitting there looking at a painting that is some type of modern art piece. It's just all gray, and it has a little red kind of circle in the upper right-hand corner. And as you go down, though, the next one that comes up on your left, you can see that it is a painting. And when you look at it, you see yourself. And in this painting, which is a very good, almost like a cartoon or an animated version of yourself, but you immediately recognize, you can see that there are shadowed hands creeping in from the frame. And in the far distance, you see that these shadowed figures are wailing and crying with comic book type black tears coming off of them that is backlit by this gray. And there is again a brass placard, and it reads, "Spies make the best storytellers. Tell the United Nations what you saw here and give them our regards."
Creepy. Well, that's unsettling. But yeah, I do press on because I wanted to scout down this hallway.
Okay, so Felicity and Zach, you would see as Lilith with the Tommy gun does one of these and then keeps moving past a specific area. What do the two of you do as Deirdre seems to be checking out the first painting on the wall?
Supposed to be in a hurry, and what's taking everyone's attention? I'm gonna look.
So Scrat, as Zach goes in, he can see that these first two paintings are just gray canvases. One has a red circle in the right corner. One has a red triangle in the left corner.
Red circle, red triangle. Okay.
As you get up to the next one, though, you see that it is a fully rendered, almost kind of cartoon-esque painting, and you see yourself. And you are on a stage and you are crooning in a large like RCA microphone with the circle on the outside that acts as the stabilizer, and you're leaning down as you sing to a crowd of these bastardized humans with their broken faces and masks and their long dirty clothes and nails as they reach up to you almost as the early vision of a rock star as they are grasping at you. And when you see a small brass plaque at the bottom, the caption reads, "The greatest entertainer below the waves or above."
Can I get that plaque off?
You can give it a if you want to just try to rip it off, give me a strength. If you want to try to be nice about it, give me a sleight of hand.
I mean, I think I've got some toothpaste in my pocket. I understand it's really good at removing plaques, so maybe I could use intelligence.
I am going to make it more difficult for you now, but
Lose sanity for that joke.
the rest of us should. Right?
Oh, Cthulhu, why?
As you grab a hold of it, it bends almost like paper in your hands.
No.
And as it crumples up, it forms a mercurial liquid. It's still that brass, but now it's as if it has been melted, and it runs across your palm in beads, coalescing when it gets to your fortune line of your hand. It joins together and drips in one solid column to the grating and pools up in a puddle of brass and begins to spread and bead across the ground. But now when you look back up at the painting, as you are sitting there, you see yourself move from the image of a crooner, the image of an early rock star, and you can see the bees begin to form on the left forearm of the singer in the painting. You see as the singer reaches up and from the back of their head pulls a mask down, which is a half porcelain mask with one side a garish smile that has been drawn on. And you see yourself pull it down, and instead of singing into the microphone, you pick it up and hold it as one would a weapon. Roll me a sanity check, please.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Take one sanity. One sanity loss, yeah, please.
Yes.
Felicity, you see everybody either staring or wielding a Tommy gun as they proceed into this tunnel. You have Phoebe with you, and she's not doing that child thing of let's go, but you see the glowing eyes in your periphery look up at you, and there is that childlike, what are we waiting for?
I think there's a moment where she watches Lilith go and looks a little concerned. Assumes this is just a thing Deirdre does now. Is when she sees Zach, she sort of, it's just like, stop touching everything. Don't break stuff. People might hit.
I didn't, it looked really cool. I was just trying to take it with me. Melded!
That's stealing!
Freaking melded!
We've spoken about this in our sessions. Anyway, what are you all looking at? We need to get going.
Are you looking?
I think she will, particularly at the one where Zach's was, because he's defacing it, and she's like, stop it.
As you go by, you see that Deirdre is looking at one that is gray with a red circle in the right-hand corner. You go by and you see another gray canvas with a red triangle in the left-hand corner. And when you get to Zach's, you realize that Zach's is a black canvas jet. And in the very center, an almost medieval profile, as the way that it is drawn is rough, but it is a skull. But the one across from it seems to have something, seems to have more. Would you like to look at that one?
Yeah, I think she'll linger over the skull for a moment, but then look down at the child and think, move on. More leading her away to have a look rather than herself.
Yeah, Phoebe is, as soon as you kind of gesture for her to continue, she is carrying in one hand the glove, and she kind of pulls on yours a little bit. But as you look over, you see a cartoon version of yourself. You are running with Phoebe in your arms. She has her legs wrapped around you, her head against your shoulder, but it's turned facing your ear. Along the border of this painting, you see hands that are reaching out with long talons, grasping at your fully inked and colored form as you are running almost directly at the artist or directly at our perspective. And in that flicker for a moment of Rapture's failing light, those hands that are around you in the painting seem to move. Your face is filled with terror. Phoebe's seems calm. And the caption on the brass plate at the bottom reads, "Thank you for trying. Don't worry, you'll be an angel soon."
And I think for a moment Felicity's face matches the one in the picture. And she freezes looking at it for a moment before gulping, just like, right, should we move on? Faster, quicker, stop looking and touching things, and can we just, and you can hear her panicking as she's looking back at the rest of it. So I would really like to move on, and get out of here. That's what we're, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. DM, I do have a question. Was that one of Jasper?
At your position, when you go by with the Tommy gun, you see a blank canvas of gray that has a small rectangle of red in the bottom left-hand corner. But maybe.
There's no nameplate.
There's a nameplate, but there's nothing on this one.
Oh. Scouting.
I think Felicity runs to catch up with Lilith, with like half dragging now this poor child along with her. It's like, we need to get out now.
At this point, Phoebe, who is completely unfazed by anything that Rapture could present, is giving you almost a tour of everything. We found an angel there one time. Mr. Bubbles was mad because as you go through, I like to eat in that corner. You know, it's just like a walking tour of Rapture, at least this vicinity of it. You're able to catch up with Lilith. Deirdre and Zach, you both come out of your reverie as you were looking at these paintings. You are yourselves again, enough to do whatever you would like.
It was a very nice painting. Right, come on, my young man. Let's go catch up with the others. And she wants to link arms with him.
And as far as I'm concerned, Deirdre was just looking at a grey portrait with a little circle in the corner, right?
Correct, yeah.
Hey, Deirdre, there wasn't a... What do you mean, nice painting? It's just grey. What, you into like that modern art stuff or something?
Deirdre's going to look back. Is it still the same painting that she's been looking at?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Well, there's only one painting I see here, and it's of me. This one here.
And I look at his, and it's grey with...
It's
triangle?
As you look at all of the others, and you kind of see elements of them from your position here, Deirdre, you can see that all of them appear to be gray canvas, except for the one that Zach is pointing to, and this one is like a jet black canvas with a profile of a skull in the very center.
Well, I just see like black in the skull. It's kind of morbid. It's pretty. You shouldn't look at kind of art like that, Zach. It's bad for you.
I got a feeling that all this art's bad for us. Come on, Deirdre, let me help you along.
Okie dokie.
You all make it to the end, and again, there's another one of those large Securus doors. But at this point, I'd like everybody to roll me a listen check, please. The senses of Deirdre, this the plasmids are cooperating. You feel younger, faster, stronger. As you're walking down, you hear from ahead that telltale sound of moving water, that almost natural rush and trickle. And from behind, as shadow begins to take the tunnel that you've left, you hear...
And that was behind us?
Behind you, yeah.
And I heard running water. That's just around us, just like natural running water.
Right, but this is more pronounced here. You can... before it was, you didn't necessarily hear the water moving. You could hear dripping, but this sounds like a current. This sounds like almost like a river or a stream, something that is moving from one place to the next and carrying with it a volume of water as opposed to just resting outside of walls.
Okay. Does it sound like it's on the opposite side of the door before us, like the thing is flooding? Or is it like... Well, does it sound like it's like on the opposite side of the door?
It sounds like on the opposite side of the door, but it doesn't sound like it did if you, with an extreme, I'll give you a little bit extra. Yeah. It doesn't sound like it did when you all had that breach in the last tunnel where Lilith swam and opened up the door. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds, if anything, more contained.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Deirdre. Deirdre's gonna go, I think we should open this door really quick because there's something coming behind us and I don't think it's gonna be friendly.
Damn, Deirdre, your hearing is amazing. I kind of heard that, but...
All I see is good, healthy lifestyle of tea and crumpets and long walks.
Right. Crumpets, right.
And a healthy dose of Adam.
Lilith, Zach, Felicity, roll me a spot hidden as you all turn to talk to Deirdre for a second.
Whilst doing this, what the fuck is a crumpet?
Oh! criticals get you fun stuff. So, Scrat and Alice, neither Zach nor Felicity notice anything as they are talking to Deirdre, but maybe it's just the proximity, Leonie, of Lilith as she turns back to look. But as Deirdre's talking and explaining the healthy lifestyle that has really helped her here in Rapture, you notice that it takes a second, but as the shadow kind of moves a bit, you realize that just subtly, Deirdre's eyes are glowing. Not as much as Phoebe, but just a bit.
Okay, I say nothing, but I make a mental note of that. But with the notice that there was a sound behind us, I am going to swing the Tommy gun to point it back the way we came, just in case, and let the others handle the door.
Sure. You can roll me a spot hidden as you turn around. No, with that critical, you are geared in. This is you locked in on the tunnel behind you. So you see everything. What did the rest of you do?
Right, let's open this door. Now, Felicity, my dear, you've had a lovely, opening doors is your thing. So, off you go.
Right. And she sort of just turns and again, still leading this kid as she sort of walks towards the door. Again, she'd like to try and do it subtly, but as almost as stealthy as possible because there might be something on the other side.
Sure, let's roll it.
Yeah, is that a sleight of hand or stealth? Neither are good, so
I will give you your best shot by picking whichever one you'd like. Stealth or...
It's 5 points difference, so finally
it works.
I can open a door damn good.
So this one, without the screech of in protest, still agreeing to do its job here in Rapture, the Securus door opens and just very subtly and slightly glides. And as it opens, you see a glass or some type of transparent material tube that extends, and hanging from a sign above it, it says, with an arrow pointing into the tube, Bathysphere number 2.
I think she almost turns around immediately. It's like, it's here. We can get it. We can get to it from here.
Oh, goody. See, I always knew you were good at opening doors. And she'll tap her and then waddle in.
Thank you, Deirdre. Looks a little confused.
As you all move in, Lilith, are you bringing up the rear, just like watching as you pull in? Okay, we'll get back to you in a sec. As the other three of you walk in, you have this glass tunnel in front of you, but it turns quickly and kind of dog legs off to your right. You can see it continue and enter into another building. But as you're looking, you see that something has fallen on the middle of this glass tunnel. There's no breach. You're not walking through water. But as you look, there is a slope, a ramp that dips ahead of you. Or at least it would dip ahead of you. But it seems that there is a level of water where whatever lower area has filled up to the floor of this one. To proceed, it looks as if you're going to have to do a bit of beneath the surface swimming.
Greg, I'm a 72-year-old woman and I gotta go underwater.
You're also a plasma addict. I am not sorry for you.
Judgmental.
Thanks, Greg.
Sorry.
It's not a life choice.
I'm plasmid shaming. I apologize.
I think Felicity looks at it, it's like, right, okay, and she starts rolling up her heavy woolen trouser legs until they're high, and then her sleeves all the way up, and sort of empties her pockets of anything that's too heavy. And she looks ridiculous now, like it's up to her knees and up to her elbows that she's sort of rolled everything up. So it looks like we're gonna have to do a little bit of swimming. And she looks down at Phoebe as well.
She nods.
Also, Greg, I don't know how it works, but it sounds weird. Could I part the water if I have telekinesis? Does that work that way?
Yeah.
Or
Be Moses.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I like Moses this, or is this I don't know how it works in this fully.
I tell you what, let's see how it does work. If you're willing to spend the sanity on it, we can see what benefits your plasmid would give to you.
Okay. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, I'll give you your sanity loss. Is that cool?
Yeah, no, go for it.
11 sanity loss.
Okay, let's adjust that now.
And roll me a luck check here, and we'll see.
Okay.
Fantastic. The water itself is too unstable as you reach for it, but as you're kind of concentrating and focusing this new power, as the hair lifts off of the side of your head, as the newly rolled sleeves kind of puff and billow out a bit as the extra fabric is gathered at the joints, Phoebe looks around in wonder as her own hair kind of lifts away from her head, and the little apron that she wears kind of lifts up a bit as she's looking around. You feel that beneath the water, at these different elements of the tunnel, a brace here, what looks to be some type of welded handbar here, you can feel it, and you believe that you could pull yourself towards these elements underwater at a much faster pace than if you were to swim. In fact, you don't think you would have to swim. You think you can draw yourself to them.
Okay. If I got people to hold on to me, does that work as well? Like a child and a little old lady kind of shape and go.
Yeah, it's something that we can definitely try out here. You would have to kind of get in the water first.
Yeah, she's gonna like wade in. I think she'll probably scoop, make sure that the child sort of holds on to her tightly and sort of wades into the water a little bit as she does.
Roll a con check as soon as you hit the water.
Oh, yay. Oh no, I'm soft. I'm really soft. Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna spend 9 because
Okay. Yep. Go right ahead.
I don't want to fail that.
It goes without saying that this is the coldest water you have ever felt in your entire life. This water should be frozen. It should be frozen solid. It's not, because it's salt water, and in this depth, it's just warm enough to stay liquid. But as soon as you put your feet into this, the shock that goes through your body, and as you kind of proceed down on the ramp, feet becoming shins, becoming thighs, Phoebe follows you in and splashes in and does not seem to be affected by the cold as you were. But she looks around and kind of gets closer to you and almost kind of hugs along your waist to kind of, because it's getting to the depth where she's about ready to go underwater.
She's sort of, Felicity's like, oh, okay, it's just like a day at the beach. It's like a day at the beach. Okay, and she sort of holds Phoebe in one hand. Is like, Deirdre, you're next, but I warn you, this is going to be a real shock to the system. You may want to warm yourself up or something.
I think that shock will kill me.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about, if I'm honest.
Hang on. I'm going to have a look around, just a quick look around to see if there's anything around that could potentially help me in this. A very conveniently placed scuba suit. Or something like that. Anything.
Roll me a spot hidden.
It's a success, but it's not a hard.
You find...
Could be, though. It's not far off.
Right.
Yeah.
You find a crumpled magazine along the ground, and it seems to be a catalog, and inside it is advertising an awesome scuba suit.
Oh, I could really do with that now. Oh, okay.
Breathe out when it hits your chest, okay? Just when we, just...
Okay, I can do this. And I dip my foot in. Oh!
Roll me a con.
It's like a day at the beach.
My con is so bad.
Wait, hang on. What's the problem? It's cold?
God.
It's better than my con.
Deirdre,
It's
why don't you just
not-
warm it
no,
up?
Sorry, that's wrong thing. Sorry, it was strength. Sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. It would have failed anyway. My con is not. My con is 25.
Okay.
Oh, okay, you're 5 worse.
Can I? The second I touch it and it gets all cold, instant reaction is flame to warm up the water.
It's so funny that you would say that, because I would
turned
like
Phoebe away.
I would like you to roll a sanity check, and everybody else, get ready.
Here we go.
I'd like to note that I am by the door.
Oh, I rolled a 99.
Okay, I am going to
This is how we
need.
die.
I am going to need a. You're already in the water, Felicity. So
No.
I'll give you a dex. Just give me a straight dex check, not a dodge, a dex check. And I'm going to give you plus 25% on this one in your favor, because of your. Okay.
I was not expecting it from a 75-year-old woman. I'm sorry.
Zach, I'm going to need a dodge roll from you as you look and see Deirdre goes Nova. As soon as she hits, you see flames go everywhere as this octogenarian loses control of the new, glamour drug that she's on. Did I miss it? Is there, Scrat, I need a dodge roll to see if Zach is going to be able to live.
I don't know, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, no.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, it's alright. I've got nothing up my sleeve. I've got nothing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna...
Okay. Leonie, roll me a spot hidden as you are staring down the hallway, and just as figures begin to turn around the corner and enter into the shadowy room and Hall of Progress, there is a flare behind you. You're able to see it coming and step kind of back out into the hallway as fire licks back into the Hall of Progress. But we are going to, let's see, since we're in water, 4 damage for Felicity.
Ooh, I'm a 1.
And we're going to do 2 damage for Zach, as you were far enough away, you hadn't closed in quite a bit, but this is that backdraft moment where somebody didn't check the door for heat and they open it up and it just that whoom as the fire explodes around you. But with your successful spot hidden roll, Lilith, as you turn with the Tommy gun kind of back to see what's happening and the fire licks out, your gaze immediately shoots back down the Hall of Progress and you see a half dozen of these humans with their masks and their guns and their knives and their curled claws peeling sideways through the big Securus door. And you see others, shadows, pulling through as 6 becomes 7, becomes 8. And you're standing there as the fire is dying down and the Nova and the sun that Phoebe so desperately wants to see has arrived here in Rapture a bit early, courtesy of Deirdre. But right at this moment, we're going to say that Felicity, you are under the water. You were blown into the water and beneath the surface with Phoebe. You can begin your pull now, or you can resurface, whatever you'd like to do.
If I can grab that ferocious little old lady by the ankle, I'll take her with me.
Because you rolled well before, I'll let you know that with the child around your waist, as soon as you grab hold of Deirdre and you reach with your TK abilities, it's not working. But when you let go of Deirdre, you begin to be pulled towards that element. It looks like it's just too much weight.
I feel like maybe she'll find that out by letting go, because I have 1 HP left, so I think it's more that she's so knackered she sort of lets go half by accident and it just takes them both.
Okay, so you're being swept through this underwater expanse. You're not sure exactly how far it is because there's no lighting down here, but you're getting lighting from the exterior of Rapture coming through the translucent panels and from the light that you left, the dying fire, and there seems to be light towards the surface where you are, but you're able to kind of grab with your telekinesis and grab hold of things and pull you both as Phoebe is now holding onto your chest as you're using your ability, and her eyes are giving you just a little bit of amber light as well. Zach, you're pulling yourself off the floor. Deirdre, you are stopping being on fire, but I want to see what Lilith is going to do. You see an army coming.
Yeah, as soon as I see it, I want to close this door. Do they have like a keypad mechanism or something?
You would know better than anybody that you're the only one that's actually worked with this before, and that triangular key has an indentation where you can place those in. It's more like an old-timey lock, you know, with the tumblers and things like that, just kind of spruced up a bit, but you know where it is. You've used it before. You don't know if you don't have a key to lock it, but you know where that is if you wanted to try to do something to sabotage it.
Well, I have... Sorry, you said we only go in with what we have, so hairpin.
Very good. So I will allow you, because this is a door that was already proven to be still doing its job down in Rapture. It closes as you hear yells and whistles coming from both the explosion. Go ahead.
And basically, I want to jab the hairpin in and then smack it with the butt of the... Because like door locks, like if you have a key on the other side, you can't put another key in to open it.
Right,
so I just want to like jam it.
You want to break off the key on your side, essentially. Right?
Well, yes, basically, yeah.
Love it. Okay, so roll me a luck roll. As you have seconds to do this. As it closes, you throw the hairpin in and you go to hit it with the butt of the Tommy gun. You feel it ram home as it crunches in there. You hear metal on metal in a very undignified way. And the door that had just proven that it was still a team player is so upset that you would do this to it, but it seems to be stuck. And you hear people pulling on the other side. But it seems to be holding for now. Zach.
Get in the water.
Yeah.
Get in the water now.
Zach, you pull yourself up.
You kidding me? We can't get in the water, dude. You just made it explode or something.
I swear that's never happened before in my life.
That's because you're jacked up on Adam. There is an army beyond that door. I have slowed them down. We don't have time for this. Get in the water now.
I'm already in. I can't swim.
I'm not a great swimmer either, but I'll give it a go. And I'm gonna do like the worst dive you've ever seen.
The little angel, there you go, like that, and kind of. Gotcha. Okay, roll me a con check as soon as your steepled hands hit the water.
Oh boy!
And how about a sanity check?
Woof!
Lilith, as soon as you say, everybody get in the water, and Deirdre, as you protest, I can't swim, all of you begin to hear as a mass of insects sweep over and fill the space, almost like a blender, a turbine of these insects, stinging and cutting and moving. Lilith, roll me a spot hidden, and everybody that is standing up in there, I want you to take, let's see, let's roll it and see what happens here.
I've been failing all the sessions, and in this session where everyone else is failing, I managed to roll successes. I'm sorry, I'm sucking up all your luck.
All of us that have played Cthulhu will let you know that is exactly when you want to be able to roll well as the finale. So
okay, yeah. Yay.
Yes.
As long as you've made it, then now it's time to roll, right? Okay, so everybody takes 3 damage. Zach, Deirdre, Lilith, you take 3 damage as these creatures begin to buzz and bite and stab. But Lilith, with your spot hidden, you're able to see a hole for a second, find the water, and kind of stumble into it. Roll me a con check as soon as you hit the water.
Greg, with Cthulhu, if you're on 1 HP, is that unconscious?
Not for me.
Okay, cool.
As
good.
as you hit the water, roll me a sanity check. Whereas
I'm holding on to it. Holding on to it.
Whereas before the atom exploded from everybody, perhaps it's the fact that you haven't used yours yet, and you're able to kind of push that feeling back down. But you hit the water and you begin. Are you swimming or just submerging, or are you leaving the area?
Yeah, I guess I'm swimming. Just keep swimming.
Okay. So you hit the surface, go beneath the surface, leaving the bugs and insects behind, and you begin to swim. And in the distance, you can see the 2 little amber dots of Phoebe's eyes as Felicity pulls her through, and you see her wave with the glove that was Mr. Bubbles. Okay. Back on the surface. Roll spot hiddens for my 2 addicts as the bees subside back where they came from.
Oh,
I succeed.
I count as on the surface. Me.
Yes, please.
You just did a belly flop. It's cool.
Yeah, so
You're
I'm slowly sinking.
you're kind of up to your knees just with the explosion and the feeling. You can't see anything. You can see the water in front of you. You can see Lilith as she kind of disappears into the water, and it's Deirdre with the senses of an Olympic, skier and shooter. As you're standing there, you see the door that had been pinned shut begin to squeal, and it opens about 2 inches, and you see eyes and teeth kind of gnashing from the other side. It opens again, this time about 6 inches, as they begin to whisper, "Coming to get you, coming to get you," as they and begin to move this back. I will let you both know, from your position right here, one of you is going to get caught. You both make that realization without the need for a roll. You just don't have the time. And so, are you going to let me decide who gets caught? Or are you going to decide who gets caught?
I'm gonna try and throw Deirdre in the water.
Oh, what a nice young man.
Yeah.
Throwing an old woman to drown.
thank you. You gave us Psycho Granny. Yay.
Yeah, you can. Well, I figure looking at everyone else, except maybe Lilith, because Lilith wasn't in the fireball, I'm probably healthier than Deirdre. Okay, I'm probably healthier, so I'm gonna throw her in the pool, hope the shock doesn't kill her, and I want to turn towards that door, assuming Deirdre points it out to me because I can't see nothing except water in front of my face. I'm gonna turn towards them and extend my hands out and let the bees go nuts.
Deirdre, do you allow yourself to be thrown in? You have your agency. This is a sacrifice that Zach is making, but are you going to be privy to it? Yeah.
I mean, considering how frail Deirdre is, and the current situation, I imagine it's really quick. He does it, it's like that. Yeah, she's not going to fight it. I don't think she could, even if she wanted to. It happens so quick. So she's just got to go, "Oh, well, oh, what's up?"
And so as you hit the water, Lilith and Deirdre, make me a swim roll, please, as you are beneath the waves. As the bees begin to swarm again, this time under your command, Zach, the door opens and you see the sputtering of plasmids of fire and ice as this army of the damned charges in towards you, but they are met by your own army, your air force, as your insects begin to rip through them in almost like a cross charge. You are able to see that they are holding them back for a second, maybe more out of surprise. So as the two of you are swimming, let's see how far away. Redundant, did you want to spend 19 luck there, or? I'm not pushing anything. I'm just asking.
No.
Did you use the words pushing deliberately there, Greg?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to push for a 10. No. No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. So as you're swimming, make me a con save, both of you, as you are.
Oh my god. Oh,
You should have pushed for the 10.
Scrat, I love that, because that's always what someone needs to do in Cthulhu. When you don't do something and the next roll would have been what you needed, just remind them.
yeah.
I love it, my friend. I love it. So yes, for a moment, the two of you that are under the water, you feel, the cold catches in your chest, and for a minute you have that instinctive need to inhale, and just as that chilled salt water begins to pass by you, you both push it away. It would have been 1 point of damage had you failed, and you're able to avoid that for now. So we're gonna cut ahead as we will stay on the one side of the water as we see Zach firing the insects out of his hand almost in a blast as they begin to fly out and hit these splicers as they come in. We go under the water as it gets darker, and we see Deirdre trying to swim and getting stuck for a moment and then continuing to swim. We go further up and see Lilith, Tommy gun kind of tucked as she's swimming beneath. And then we go full to the opposite end of the submerged tunnel, where we see Felicity pull out of the water almost like Navy SEAL style, with eyes, and then a pair of glowing eyes pop out of the surface of the water as you are in a new place, Felicity. Roll me a spot hidden.
She's just not good at these. Oh.
You see a similar setup to when you first arrived in Rapture. You see benches and chairs that are kind of up against the wall, but also kind of haphazard and knocked over. There's a bit of organization to them, but again, you see like the canceled bathysphere, canceled service signs that seem to be everywhere, but they're lit. In the middle of this port is a bathysphere that seems to be powered, seems to have the lights on, seems to be waiting. And Phoebe says, "That's it. That's where me and Mr. Bubbles were going."
And she sort of, if there's no one around, she sort of trudges out of the water. Probably she's wearing woolen trousers, like this is heavy. She wrings them out a little bit and slicks back her hair so she can see, sort of wipe it across. So she's like, "We need to wait for the others. I know they're coming, and I know that I'm just gonna give them a few more minutes, and they will come through." And she sort of stares at to anything, but she wants to be ready for anything if something comes back. But she's sort of almost like jogging on the spot, one to get warm again, and also out of nervousness.
Phoebe, mistaking what you're doing, is doing the same thing, though she doesn't seem cold. She's going like back and forth and kind of hopping in place and skipping a little bit around you as you're doing this. And
Yeah.
she has her now drenched picture out, but she's looking at it and keeps, like, as she makes her circuit around you, "We're going there," and pointing at the sun, and then back around, "We're going there."
She's, yep, we're gonna go there, we're gonna go there. She's like, "Oh my god." And she's looking at the water to see if anyone's coming.
You all also receive 5 hit points from Sphinx as a little bit of the Legion love comes through. So add those 5 hit points up and put them back in as plasmids or perhaps adrenaline is kicking in here. And I'm going to need swim rolls this time as we see the two skipping pairs as Phoebe and Felicity are waiting, and we go back down beneath the surface and we see Lilith swimming, and I need a swim roll from Lilith. And Deirdre, you're swimming, I need a swim roll from you.
Can I get creative?
Why not?
Can I use my plasmid to blast me through this tunnel as a kind of like a jet underwater and just go? So it just goes like that. Is that something that's possible?
You want to Iron Man yourself?
I
through
want to Iron Man myself through the water.
Without a roll, I'll let you know that Lilith is ahead of you.
I will be willing to hit her to drag her through. As long as she's not behind me, I think we're good, to be honest.
Katrina, I'm assuming that's both for Deirdre. I'm gonna absolutely, let's roll your plasmid here. That's 6 sanity.
I'll take it.
Let's see. Roll me a sleight of hand as you attempt to control your burn.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, that's where this stuff's blasting from your hands. You're Iron Manning, so.
Oh dear. Nope.
We're going to say this though. There was a donation that has just come in from Katrina to power up the granny, and so what we're going to do is, as you fire the thrust from beneath your hands, what was your swim roll, Leonie? Okay, it was a fail. Roll me a con check as Lilith, as there is. Oh, look at that! That is your second critical of the game.
What the heck?
That is amazing. That is just unbelievable. With that, I give the following. I was going to make you get hurt, but I'm not going to do that now. You hear something coming, and whether, again, it's fear or just reaction or just your occupation, sixth sense kind of giving you that ability to get out of the way, you hear the boom, 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 as Deirdre is bouncing off of one wall, boom, 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 as almost like a pinball machine, this octogenarian is coming through, and we come back up this direction. We'll be back with Zach in a second as we follow the ricocheting human as Lilith, you pull out of the way just in the nick of time and are able to swim and get to the surface and break free and grab air as Deirdre explodes out of the still pool that Felicity and Phoebe are dancing around, and you literally rocket into the air. 10 health was given to you. I'm taking it all right now, but you live as you bounce off the wall. And as you splash out, you crash to the ground. And at this point, all of you can tell that Deirdre's eyes are glowing just about as much as Phoebe's when she turns and kind of reorients herself. So as all this takes place, you're all on this side, but for perhaps the last time, we dive back down into the pool, through the collapsed tunnel, pop up on the other side. Zach, they are coming. They're going to get to you. What would you like to do as you're firing your bees into them? You see a couple bodies on the floor, but there are many that are replacing them.
So my thinking is, my friends are in trouble. I just need to buy them as much time as I can. I mean, unless there's some other way I can get out of this place, I'm not really gonna be looking, because in my left hand I'm pulling the gun hand with the bees, and in the right hand I got a Tommy gun.
Fire.
If you'll allow.
Absolutely. Are you kidding? I also want fan art. Let's see.
So it's a whole new meaning to say hello to my little friends.
Fantastic. So with left arm firing the little friends and the right arm firing the Tommy gun, you take 7 more sanity loss as the blast continues, and roll me your Tommy gun attack too, please. You're going to hit something, but let's just see.
All right, come on. We don't have any resources to use it, like advantages or anything like that, do we? Just we don't have anything like that, do we? No. Good.
But
good,
you can spend your luck or push too if something. So. Oh!
Hey, do we do more damage on a hard success?
You do. Do you want to spend 15?
It's the finale. I can spend 5, isn't it?
Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
I see. It's like 8 to get it down to a hard success, right?
Or you can spend 15 and take it to an extreme.
Oh, it's the finale. Why not? Let's go crazy. Literally.
So, as Zach, as you're standing there and the Tommy gun begins to belch fire and lead, and as your other hand begins to again have the onslaught of the insects that are flying and harassing this army, through that dog leg, the others can see this stand happening. You can see through the glass. The water on the ocean floor is calm and clear. You can see Zach making this stand and buying you time as this swarm, this endless swarm of splicers seem to be jumping and dragging one another in an effort to get to him. But for a beat, 2, 3, the Tommy gun continues to rock as the drum begins to empty, as the bees and the insects hold them back in this titanic display of plasmid, of technology, of the best and worst of mankind is unleashed upon the splicers. And Zach, as they begin to get closer, you feel them pulling at your pant legs, pulling at your shirt, pulling at your everything as they are literally climbing as you are shooting down at them, holding them off. And at the last minute, when the Tommy gun clicks empty and you're still shooting with the insects, you turn the Tommy gun around to use as a club to bring it down on them, and they are all reaching for you with their long, twisted nails. And for a minute, your face distorts. The bees rocket from your arm. The Tommy gun looks a lot like a microphone as you're holding it there, yelling and pointing down as your crowd, your early rock star, your fans reach for you. Is there anything you'd like to do at the end?
I think as the bees are like starting to sputter out and stuff, like with the Tommy gun for a start off, I think they're going like, you know, doing bzz, I you know, my music is a lot of rage against things, so I think he would start singing, but you couldn't really call it singing. He more just starts, I guess, rapping before it's time, as he just angrily just tells them everything that's wrong with this situation and the fact that the poster became real. It's yeah.
And as you continue to lay them low, and as you pull more and more from your resources to continue the onslaught of bees, you can feel your own mind splintering, and the feelings of hatred for these creatures that are coming for you, that are going to end you, it turns, and you realize that you're killing in the name of love. And as you blast into them, you stop at the last minute, your mind completely gone, and in recognition, they all stop. They're still holding you, but now it's adulation. It's their own love and idolatry. And they begin to kind of hold your arms and hands. The bees stop.
Crowd surf!
And they look at you, you look at them, and the rest of you through the bend in the glass would see Zach turn and join their ranks and dive beneath the waves as all of them begin to into the water. What do you do?
I would now like to use my plasmid because water is conductive and I am lightning.
Let's do it! All right. So with a loss of 7 sanity, you are able to turn and tell us what you do, Leonie, as Lilith brings forth the if we're going with rage too, then let's get the lead out as well as like immigrant song starts playing. the lightning.
A minute. Sorry, that math is just far too complicated for this time of evening. I'm so filled with feels. 68, thank you. Right, yes, let's do it. Yeah, so like the whole room gets that like ozone taste. Everyone's hair stands up on end a little bit. Lightning comes from the core and out to her hands, and she just points her hands towards the water, and I just light up the whole thing.
You can see now, as everyone, no need for a spot hidden roll, but that submerged piece of dark tunnel that had kind of been that rite of passage for you all, it lights up, and you can see flashes when organic material is conducting electricity, as much like the Emperor or some wielder of the dark side is firing force energy into this water. You see as Lilith is just lighting this thing up. The rest of you, though, Deirdre, Felicity, roll me a spot hidden. There it is.
Yeah.
It is Felicity. You see the vents around the top of this space begin to echo. You see one of them punch inward, hit the ground. You see long clawed nails come out, and you see a masked figure kind of pull itself out. And Phoebe looks up and says, "That's not fair. Those are ours."
I think Felicity, look, did you say it's coming through like this grate?
Yeah, there's
Type
venting,
thing.
the same venting that you saw Phoebe using in an earlier area. They now seem to be pulling themselves through as these splicers are moving to your position.
As they start to come through, I'm screaming for Lilith, who's having a whale of a time, but I'm trying to get her attention to get out. But she's gonna reach out, and with my telepathy, I want to crush the bars as they're getting halfway through it, and almost effectively locking it in as well.
Absolutely.
So 3. Okay, 3.
And you do just that. As the bars are being kicked in on some of these others, you crunch the whole vent opening, and you actually see one of them halfway out as it crunches, and they begin to wail and scream. As this metal is compromised around their rib cage, they're pulling at it as if, it would be comical if it didn't look so horrific as they're moving. But you see in farther areas shapes dropping from vents. There seem to be more of these vents, just like in the other area. They're all coming in at once. They're all moving as one. They see prey, and they want it.
Yeah, she's sort of crushing the ones she can, and she's just like, "Lilith, anytime now, please!" Like, and she's just like screaming back at the distance and looking down at Deirdre as well. Like, "Are you okay? You did, come out of there a bit like a rocket."
Oh, I'm fine. I'm okay. I made a tougher stuff.
Okay,
Oh,
well, we've got a little bit of a problem. If you could, that bit over there, as she sort of gestures to the more of these creatures dropping out of the ceiling, effectively.
Greg, where's the bathysphere? Can we see it?
Yeah, it's about 50 yards kind of set in the center, and there's a light on it that says that it's active. And the front opening that you all had trouble getting into and out of before, that is open. You can actually see the chairs and seats inside.
No, I suggest you start making our way to there. And she'll start kind of, heading toward the bathysphere.
Roll me a sanity check, Deirdre.
Okay. I fail.
You get about a few steps into your move, and as Lilith is cooking the water, one of the splicers pulls themselves out, their entire body spasming as their muscles are firing because of the electricity, makes it about 2 crawls into this area and drops to the ground, moving. And Deirdre, before you know it, You are straddling this splicer, and you have Phoebe's hypo in its chest as you are drawing more Adam out. The rest of you would see that Deirdre's eyes are glowing brightly as
Well,
she
it'd
is.
be a waste to not get it, wouldn't it? So
With Deirdre so close now, and obviously shouting at me, and obviously other enemies, I can clearly see what's going on here. I want to stop using my plasmid, switch back to my gun, and any that get too close, I'd like to shoot them down as I'm just like backing backwards towards Felicity.
They begin to creep up again, like we said, like that Navy SEAL entrance as their eyes pull up. A lot of them have broken skin where it's been burned by the electricity of the water. Many of them that entered the water did not make it this far, but some of them are still coming through the madness, the Adam, the ability to kind of fuel themselves with the similar tricks that you all have done, healing and things like that. And as they begin to breach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as they're walking up, you may open fire, but again, without the need for a roll. You know someone's going to have to hold the line here, because they're coming out and they're all around as well, dropping in from the vents. And the bathysphere is a distance off. I can make that decision about who gets drawn down by the crowd, or you can. This decision, of course, is between Deirdre and Lilith.
Oh, I'm leaving Granny behind. I ain't saving.
I was going to say, have I left? Have I finished kind of taking the thing out?
You get. I mean, it's good to the last drop, and you boop, pull it out just as everyone seems to be coming up and wrapping around, and you're actually getting looks of interest from these splicers as they burst up through the water and look around, and you can see that they're not attacking you because they have learned that it's not wise to attack a little sister.
Or a big ma in this case. But yeah, no, I know Granny's gone. I'm just like, Lilith.
Okay, Lilith, or not Lilith, Deirdre, are you going to do anything to... You're now awash in them. This is that scene in The Walking Dead where, you know, the person covered in the guts is able to kind of walk among them. You're among them and they're not doing anything, but you're also of your right mind a bit. What would you like to do?
Okay. So they're all around me, but they're kind of ignoring me and they're going for the other two, right? And the other two are kind of like trying to head to the bathysphere. And she'll kind of look around and she'll kind of, with her big glowing eyes, there'll be a big smile, and all she can see is just lots of Adam, lots of experiments, lots of customers for her lovely tea shop she's going to open called Pepper Pot's Teapot. And she is just going to embrace fully. She's going to go supernova again, and she's just going to blast as many as she can around just to scare them off. And I don't know how this works, but I do have bloodlust, and I think it'd be a good time to activate that.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's roll. I tell you what, let's do 1, 2. So for 16 sanity,
Cool.
you can generate your own nova. And so I will say this too, it also tops off your hit points as you begin to know. You can explain what you do here as you nova out.
So she specifically kind of wants to do almost like a wall of fire between Felicity and Lilith. Kind of like a huge, massive wall of fire preventing from any of them getting to them. And she's going to kind of revel in this flame and destruction of the screams. And as she's doing it, she's just thinking of all the wonderful things that she'll be doing down here, the experiments, how to use Adam plasmids that haven't even been invented yet. And it's kind of almost like a dance of flame that's just going around the entire room.
And as that dance, much like the same one that Felicity and Phoebe were performing to keep warm and have fun on the other side of this pool, this dance is one of death. And much like a Michael Bay movie, somewhere Michael Bay is eating a cheeseburger and screaming triumphantly in the air, as Lilith is running with the Tommy gun, and as Felicity and Phoebe are running towards the bathysphere, backlit by the explosion of the dance of fire that is the newly formed Deirdre. Let's cut back to Felicity. You are to the bathysphere way ahead of Lilith. What would you like to do? You see people running, and you're not sure who's going to get to the bathysphere first, these splicers or Lilith.
She's going to get in the bathysphere, and she's going to make sure they're both in there, and then she's going to yell to Lilith, hold on to that gun, and she's going to pull the gun effectively towards her to get her in the bathysphere as fast as she can. With like the door half open, it's not going to be a comfortable landing. It's literally going to be like throwing in a car and slamming the door shut.
Awesome.
Okay.
I love it. For 12 sanity loss as you do this, make a strength check, Lilith, and I'm going to give you plus 25% in your favor because you had the warning. The warning came out from Felicity to hold on. You pull and you are drugged.
How much sanity to make that work?
Okay. Okay, so that it would only be 11 luck to make it work because I gave you a plus 25.
Okay, I'll spend it.
Okay.
As soon as she's in, I'm slamming that door. Like I just throw her to the other side of the bathysphere.
Okay, so Lilith, you go firing into the very back of the bathysphere, like back where they put luggage and things like that. You're thrown into the back and through the netting that holds all those things in place. You guys remembered Charles putting the stuff back there. It gets thrown. You're thrown to the very, very tail of this bathysphere. And Deirdre, Felicity, as soon as you close the door, a face twisted looks on the inside and begins to snap. And you see Zach looking at you.
And she sort of looks at him, and in her head, she sort of remembers for a moment, like, therapy sessions and things like that they've had. Like, she's like, I'm sorry, Zach. And she's going to lock the door and immediately go into moving this as far away from this as possible.
As soon as you close the seal, both Lilith and Felicity, your ears pop, and you see that Phoebe is moving the dials and switches, and you feel the bathysphere drop beneath you as you splash into the water. And as soon as you begin to list, Lilith, you're in the back kind of moving and bouncing off of things not properly strapped down. Felicity, you're able to kind of pull yourself into the nearest chair as almost like a sailor with their legs beneath them. Phoebe is just operating this craft. And as soon as you see through the portal, the clearing of the bathysphere Dock 2, she flips up a brass panel and there is a button with one word, surface. And she smashes the button down. I need you both to make con rolls for me, please.
I'm so soft. Oh my god. It's not me. How much do I need to spend? No, I don't have enough.
So, Alice, Felicity blacks out. Leonie, Lilith is in the back, holding on, and then all of a sudden you can actually feel the pressure as you are rocketing up towards the surface. Now, of course, there's plenty of people saying the bends are going to kill them all, but it's been in some of the fiction that plasmids keep that from happening. So we don't have to worry about the nitrogen bubbles and all that good stuff, awful stuff. As we rocket up towards the surface, you would see Phoebe turn around and strap in Felicity and then kind of be peeking over the chairs. Is there someone back there?
Yes, me. Just like a hand. Like through suitcases.
She points to the thing that's closest to you is the very rear of the bathysphere. It's almost like the tail of a fish. And back in that area, you can see that there are two handholds back there, almost like two hooks. And she points, grab hold of those.
Okay, I try and climb out and do that.
As soon as you grab hold of the two of them, a little dome wraps around you, and Phoebe looks and cocks her head and goes. And she hits a button, and you feel yourself being pulled away from the craft. We'll get back to you in a second, Lilith. Felicity, you wake up to the feeling of a pinprick as your eyes flutter open and you are strapped down and Phoebe is extracting something from you. And
Are my legs bound?
No, but you're weak.
Okay.
You can't move. You think that there was something applied here, or perhaps holding you into position. And Phoebe turns into your vision. Don't worry. You did your best. You'll be an angel soon. And then you feel the splash, and through the front window, you can see the surface of the dark mid-Atlantic, the night sky, an equal shade of jet above. And a squawk box turns on right beside Phoebe. Hold on. And you feel your eyelids getting heavy. Phoebe kind of pats over on her little bare feet, touches a button. I'm here. Good. You're on the surface then. Yes. Then you know what to do. I do. What are you gonna tell them? I'm gonna tell them our story. And who are you gonna tell? Everyone. That's a good girl. Now, would you kindly collect your friend that I'm sending? And outside of the window, there is a splash as a face appears. And it pulls itself up on the floating, bobbing bathysphere as your eyes get heavy and you see it through the curtain of life being drawn and opened. And you see one of these big daddies pull itself up, but unlike the others, this one seems new. It seems fresh. And as it looks into the glass and rips the front of the bathysphere off, Phoebe claps her hands. Oh, I knew you were just like Mr. Bubbles. And the Big Daddy turns and frost comes out of the seals around its helmet, and frost and ice collects on the outside of its outfit, and it reaches down, and she reaches up and puts her hand on the forefinger. Now, I think I'll call you Mr. Icicle. And Jasper says, Leone, roll me a swim check, please. You splash to the surface. You have escaped whatever ejection module that Phoebe had you grab hold of. And as you splash to the surface, you see the dark night sky, the rolling Atlantic. You don't know where you are. You don't know how far from land you are. But as you're looking and as you glance into that sky, you see an explosion. And for a moment, backlit against the flames, you see an airliner crack apart and splash about 100 yards away from you, rolling you on the waves as you ride these 10-foot swells. And just as you hit the top of the 10-foot swell, and as this crash litters the surface of the sea with burning oil and gasoline, you see the strangest sight beyond the fire. A lighthouse. Maybe there's help there. But that's where we'll end Rapture Below. Horns!
So good, Greg.
Ah!
All right.
Ooh.
Fantastic, my friends, fantastic. Let's go around and talk to everybody, and let's start where we stopped. Leonie, how are you doing, my friend, and where can we find you online?
Oh, that was too much. That was amazing. I'm great. I'm Gloss and Gadgets, also known as Leonie. I am Gold Heart Gaming in the chat. That is my own streaming channel. I hope I can reach to epicness of this levels. That was so much fun. That's all I really have to say.
Well, I'm going to add something because I've played Cthulhu quite a bit. Your rolls were ridiculous tonight. I mean, they were god level with the two criticals and the extremes. Amazing stuff. Your RP was fantastic. I loved how you saved the plasmids. You saw what was happening to poor Deirdre, and you held on to that addiction until it was necessary. Loved it. Couldn't have loved it anymore. My friend, thank you so much for playing.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun, and it was just amazing. Alice, haven't played with you in like an age. Scrap the same, and obviously this is my first time with Tom, and I had a great time. So thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic, fantastic. And let's drop right down to Scrat. Scrat, my friend, how are you? And where can we find you online?
I am very happy to go out in a blaze of Rage Against the Machine gory. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you for posting my links there. You can find me on Twitter. You can also find me over on twitch.tv/Spartacus. We're about to go into a brand new season. We start on Monday. I'm not sweating, you're sweating. Everything's fine. Don't look behind this curtain. There's no need to. Yeah, like what? Greg, this was amazing. This was absolutely phenomenal. And big shout out to you as well for coming and helping us with our charity stream. You mentioned it earlier, and I don't know if I don't think I did message you privately, but I should have done. We ended up hitting 200% of our goal, and in no small part thanks to you as well. So thank you so much, Greg. Yeah.
Oh, a fantastic cause, fantastic stories. That entire 24-hour stream was amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a collection of storytellers and narrative joined together with such force. It was a singular effort by you and Alice, and then everybody just pulled the line, and it was just awesome. And the audience came through like the Charge of the Light Brigade for a children's hospital in St. Jude's. It's amazing stuff. So I was so proud to be a part of it. Thank you for asking me to be a part of it. I loved it. And let's drop down to the co-curator of the Academy. Alice, my friend, where can we find you online?
Oh, hi, I'm Alice. I'm also White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. And then I do photography as well as DMing and obviously playing on the channel as well. I will be doing some other DMing on other channels soon, which I'm very excited for. Otherwise, everything Scrat said, basically. Otherwise, I love this game so much. It was so good, and Greg, you kept the tension going, like just with all the descriptions. It was so good. I'm really sad it's over because I very rarely get to play in Cthulhu. This is probably like my second time actually playing in it, and it was such a good group to play in as well. As I said, I haven't played with Leonie for nearly 2 years now as well. I think it must be nearly 2 years, so that's been a long time. And it was just so good to play with some of you all for the first time. It was sort of intense, high power and driven, and it's my ideal game. I love it so much, and yeah, I love it. I'm gonna stop saying because I'll just keep repeating myself. I love it. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. I know, as I said before, when I ventured the ask, I know how much it is for everyone to donate their time, especially channel runners like all of you. And I know when you're co-channel runners, it's doubly difficult because someone's not at the wheel, and I know what that means, and I appreciate your time so very much. Let's jump over to my buddy Tom. Tom, we finally beat the time zones for a little bit. It was so great to have you. Where can we find you online, buddy?
Thank you so much for having me, Greg. This has been something like 2 years or something like that, trying to get everything all sorted together. And I'm so happy that I was able to we could find a time, not only that, but a game of Call of Cthulhu, not only Call of Cthulhu, but Bioshock Call of Cthulhu as well. And then we've had such a fantastic cast, because this is the first time I've played with, I think, all of you, apart from Greg. It has been absolutely wonderful to be part of this. And just to play just like a silly kind of character, and just to really go into all of it. And I mean, Greg, with the storytelling, I think you're a friggin' genius with it, my man. You could tell how much you love Bioshock. And as a person who's played Bioshock, how you just weaved everything together seamlessly was fantastic. In my own headcanon, I like to think that Deirdre has her own little tea shop somewhere in Rapture, where she kind of forces splicers to drink tea and stuff while she does it. That's in my headcanon. I like it. But it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And hopefully it won't be as long for us to play again sometime. But I myself, Hot Flakes Tom on Twitter. I am in a number of other games. I don't stream anymore. I haven't streamed for a long, long time. I might come back, but not yet. But I am on some other awesome channels. On Wednesdays at 7 p.m. GMT, I'm on Encounter Roleplay for Zweihander. Betrayal of, well, it was Hearth Home, but now we changed it to Rat Home because we're doing the Ratvolution. So that's kind of cool. And also Thursdays on Follow Black Cats, I am part of the After the Fire campaign, a fantastic Game of Thrones set 100 years before the Game of Thrones TV series in the Blackfire Rebellion, just after that, which I do believe, Greg, if you could correct me, we have a special guest sometime on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. So it is definitely something you're going to want to check out. It's 8 p.m. GMT or BST or whatever it is for other moon time zones and stuff on Follow Black Cats on Twitch.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. So glad and happy to have you all here, especially, and also, and not forgetting our dear friend Myth. Everything popped up in chat there. Make sure you follow Myth. Just because you're at PAX East, we don't forget about you, buddy. I turned you into a big daddy. I know I didn't get authorization to do that, but I don't care. So anyway, I appreciate you all so much for being here. Chat, I appreciate your contributions to the narrative. Katrina, there was your big daddy. It was Myth. So that's part of canon, just like the tea shop. I will be over on Follow Black Cats on this coming Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I am playing a Targaryen. He's not nice. Join us. It will be bad. Don't hate me after it's over. But let's keep with the love of what's going on here. Join me over at Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. Fun things are coming. Fun things are over with this game. I enjoyed everyone here so very much. Their time, their excellence. But as I always say, follow them all for their kindness. They're great RPers, they're great people, but their kindness trumps all of that. So follow them, add kindness to your life. We always need that. And I'm done. enjoy your weekends, everybody. Do something fun, play some games with friends, either virtually or around the wooden tabletop. But until next time, as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, unless you're Leone, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.